So this is a web application that I developed for my current employer. It is called Civil Flow. It's designed to track civil engineering projects. It has a really elegant user interface that adjusts to the screen size, so it's responsive. So my employers, the construction and engineering company that I work for, they can quite easily use this application from their desktop, from their cell phone, or from their iPad, which is often the case because they're moving about from project to project, and they'll get calls about engineering projects on the road in the car, and they want a simple and intuitive interface that would allow them to put in this information and keep track of estimated costs, estimated completion dates, contact information for the clients, and information about the project itself. So the user interface I developed it using React, Bootstrap, and then a lot of components, and I tried to make the code itself very maintainable and easy for me to go in and change, because I've had a couple requests from the employers already, and they were asking for new features, and so I'm really emphasizing the importance in the code base of making sure it's maintainable and extensible. So if we use the authentication system here is relying on Firebase's services as well as data storage for data storage and authentication. So if I hit the login button here, it's going to go ahead and authenticate that using Firebase. It'll open it up to the current projects page, which currently is empty. But if you open the form here by clicking the little plus icon, it'll allow you to input some information here. You need to have a project name, and then you also need to have some first name, and then also a last name. And then the other required information is that you have a contact date. So I'll just say that John Doe contacted us on the 8th. And if you go ahead and hit new project, it will add that project down below here. At the moment, it has no progress bar because there are no dates assigned. If we go ahead and hit the edit button over here, it's going to populate this form with all the information we've already put in, and it'll open the form or it'll change the form into its edit mode. You can go into here, click a start date. We'll have it start. It's going to start. Let's say it started on the 6th. I know it doesn't quite make sense with first contact date, but I want you to see what the progress bar looks like. So then if the estimated completion is going to be in 2 days, and then we don't have an actual completion date, we go ahead and update that. It will now, this project will now have a progress bar, so it's roughly about halfway, or it should be roughly halfway completed, and they compute the progress bar based on the start dates and the estimated completion dates. And then if there's an actual completion date, it'll turn green, and as it gets closer to this to the deadline or the estimated completion, it will turn yellow and then finally red. Now, if this person was no longer interested in doing the project, you might want to, or they said they wanted you to wait, you might want to archive the project until they're ready to continue with it. So you hit the archive button. It will remove it from the projects page, and it will add it to the archives page. The archives page just has all the progress bars by default green because you're not actively tracking them. You can go ahead and click on the button here. If you wanted to view the project's information, it will populate the form with that information. You can edit it from the archives page by hitting here. It'll open it in the edit form mode, and you can go ahead and open each field that you want to edit or update. And then if you want, and now let's say that person calls back and is ready to continue with the project, you can go ahead and re-add it, unarchive it by clicking this green button. If they call you back and they say that they're no longer interested in doing a project at all, you can go ahead and just delete the project right here. And then you can navigate back to the projects page using this button, or you can also click on the banner page or the brand logo. And then if you're completely finished with everything, you can go ahead and hit log out, and it'll take you back into the login page. So this is the application that I've developed for my employers. I've been really active working with them to make sure that everything is exactly the way they want it to be. I'm really receptive to all their requests for different changes. Maybe they want added fields, or they want, the user interface to be slightly different, to be a little bit, to react or respond to increases in projects in different ways, like create a scroll bar and things like that. And then the other projects I'm going to work on for the same company is going to be one for tracking subcontractors information, and then also for tracking project statuses for construction projects rather than engineering projects.